So, hey, uh, let's see, what's in the news? Oh, Taylor Swift. And she just announced her tour, and there was a whole thing with Ticketmaster, and I guess tickets crashed, and the sites crashed, and tickets were like $3,000 a piece, and because they use dynamic pricing and and all of this stuff. But whatever, that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. I am here to talk to you about how I feel that a lot of current music is extremely inappropriate for the target audience. So I'm going to talk about Taylor Swift in specific, because I noticed a couple of years ago, I think maybe, a lot of music, and I'm not here to be all preachy, but this is maybe something that a lot of parents aren't aware of. But anyway, I think a lot of current music is a really bad influence on young kids. And there goes the siren, just to illustrate my point. But anyway, a really not a good influence, and here's why. So, and it's lots of current music, it's not just Taylor Swift. But I really started to notice it when I was teaching a girl, I don't know, she was like 10 or something, the song Blank Space by Taylor Swift. And I was sort of listening to it, and at first I didn't pay any attention to the lyrics, because, you know, I'm teaching her how to play guitar in this case, and what we end up doing at Band Gig School of Music is, like, I'll say, a student will say, oh, I want to learn this song, so we'll work on a song, and show her how to play it and the chords and all of that stuff. And then at some point we do a concert a few times a year, and this student, in just, as an illustration of my point, this student was like, oh, I want to do the concert, and I want to do the Taylor Swift song Blank Space that we've been working on. So, okay, great. So she's going to play it and she's going to sing it. So at this point, I, print up the lyrics with the chords and everything, and, here we go. And, I think Taylor Swift targeted clearly towards young girls, very young, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, targeted towards them. And I'm thinking, okay, their parents are letting them listen to this music. Millions of these kids are listening to Taylor Swift music. Millions of parents are okay with it. So, that's fine. So as we're doing the song, and I've already committed to doing the song, because now, since she's going to sing and play guitar, I have another girl that's going to play guitar on it, somebody that's going to play drums, somebody that's going to play bass. We get like a whole thing organized so that we could play the song as like sort of a pickup band for this one song. So I'm like, okay, now we're committed to this. I have other people learning it, other kids, other teachers teaching their kids the song. We're going to do this. And I start to notice the lyrics. And I wrote down a lot of notes because I can't remember all the specifics, and I want to make sure that I'm quoting the lyrics correctly. But at any rate, so Blank Space, my understanding is it's somewhat tongue-in-cheek, self-effacing, and Taylor Swift is sort of singing about how, she always has these problems with relationships with guys, and according to the song, my understanding is she's singing about how a lot of it is her, and she understands it and whatever. Okay, yeah. So then we get to the bridge, and the bridge is what really stood out to me. And the lyrics are, boys only want love if it's torture. Don't say I didn't, say I didn't warn you. And then she repeats both of those lines. And the bridge is over just like this little drum loop. So her vocals really stand out and really clear. There's no music in the background covering or sort of, making your attention sort of divided. It's just these lyrics, bam. And I'm like, that's a terrible thing to be teaching a 10-year-old girl or 8 or 12 or whatever. Like, that boys are just terrible and they only want love if it's going to be like this painful, terrible, emotional thing. And I'm like, that's terrible. That's such a bad thing to be teaching a young girl. Just my opinion. And again, I'm not trying to be preachy, but she is a role model, whether she likes it or not. She is. But, we'll get to that in a second. So she has a new album coming out, and I was like, okay, you know what? I want to jot down some notes for this video. So I'm like, cool, for my video, if only there was stuff in her brand new songs that would, help me make my point. And like, wow, I'll get it. Okay, so the very first song, all I did was I Googled the new album and Googled the first song lyrics. And the first song on the new album is called Bejeweled. And she mentions a guy being high. So that's kind of like okaying drug use. Maybe not the greatest thing for a young girl to be learning from her hero and role model, but oh well. And I've had to edit songs for students all the time, like a lot, because I print up the lyrics and the chords so we can go, okay, let's look at the verse, here are the chords and blah blah blah. And I don't want a parent to see the lyrics and be like, there's a swear in here, or like, I feel this is inappropriate, or anything like that. So I edit lyrics. That's fine. It's not my job to police what the kids are listening to. It's the parents. And if the kids are listening to it and the parents are fine with it, I'm fine with it. Okay. But I just don't want to perpetuate bad language or anything like that in print. Like, here you go, kid. So anyway, I've done that, but that's the first song. I'm sorry. That was just random newest song, Bejeweled. Sorry. I went and checked out the album, and the first song in the album is Lavender Haze, and it has swears in it. Just bad language, swearing. So, okay, whatever. I don't think it's great for young kids, but oh well. The second song is Maroon, and also swears. And it talks about drinking, and it insinuates pretty strongly. It's like, I didn't write down the actual lyrics for this, because it's sort of like in there, but she's questioning like, hey, how did we end up on the floor? Like, she wakes up after passing out from drinking, because it's a lot about wine and drinking. And, how did we wake up on the floor like this? And it insinuates that maybe they had sexual encounter while drunk and don't even remember it. So blacking out or whatever. Again, I wouldn't want my daughter, who's 15 right now, to think that that's an okay situation. The third song was not too terrible. It's called Anti-Hero. And she, in it, the only thing really that I think is a little sketchy, she has a dream, in the song, she has a dream where her daughter-in-law murders her because she thinks that they're going to get a lot of money once Taylor Swift is dead. And then they're reading the will, and they actually don't get any money, and Taylor Swift is down in hell looking up at them laughing. Like, I don't know. That's not super great, but whatever. The fourth song is Snow on the Beach, Swears. There's swears in it. And she sings that life is emotionally abusive. Like, how about a kid trying to figure stuff out and maybe having some emotional issues, maybe depression or whatever, and saying, hey, life is so emotionally abusive. Pfft, that's just how it is. Enjoy, kids. I don't know. And then she sings about that the guy still wants her tonight. Again, insinuating sexual intercourse. But whatever. So at this point, I stopped reading the lyrics because I'm like, I'm down to 4. I've gone through 4 songs on the album, just not cherry picking, just first, second, third, fourth song. Plenty. I don't really need to know all the rest of it. And so she is a role model. Whether she likes it or not, she's a role model. And I say whether she likes it or not kind of sarcastically, because I don't feel she's making art with her music. I think she's making a product. And I think it's specifically targeted at a certain audience. She has to know it. She has to be aware of it. And she's making these songs for a specific audience, targeting them. And I don't think a lot of it is really the best message to be sending these young girls, young kids. That's about it. Like I said, it has to be a very calculated maneuver, because she must have millions of dollars backing her for every move she makes, every album she comes out with, every song she writes. Nothing's left to chance, I'm sure. Okay, it's not like she just goes, I'm just going to do whatever I feel like, and I don't care if anybody buys it. It's very, I'm sure, calculated. And to put this stuff in there specifically targeting young kids, I don't know, I think it's wrong. I think it's irresponsible. That's just me. So do the comment thing. Let me know what you think if you've gotten this far in the video. And like and share if you agree. And all of that stuff. So until next time.